I'm taking the Broncos getting an early Broncos plus starting.
Reynolds coming through. He kicks to the in goal. Reynolds gets it down.
Good morning and welcome to Friday Lines. I'm your host for today, Nikki Sylvester. Joining me today is MG for AFL. We've also got Toprope for NRL. Friday Lines is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form and Manscaped for the very best in men's grooming. MG, tell me, AFL, what's been happening this week?
More rule changes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, going well in the AFL. They can't make up their mind. It's weekly, monthly occurrence through the year. So, yeah, apparently we're not paying any more head-high tackle, free kicks for ducking or, putting the head in an awkward position or anything like that. So we'll see how that's umpired. It's just making it harder for the umpires, more infuriating for the fans. So that's the weekly news in AFL. More rule changes.
More rule changes. I thought about the 1.6 million to Alistair Clarkson was top news. 23% of a salary cap for a coach. Wow. For a club that's in dire straits, I was like, wow, that's maybe I'll put my hand up to coach North Melbourne next year.
Yeah, after Gill come on during the week and said he's got no influence or anything about North Melbourne, then all of a sudden they can magically afford Clarkson to go to the Kangaroos. But it'd be a tough gig. Even Clarko, that's a tough gig for 1.6 matching up with the stress he's going to have to go through. Really? I'm not sure it'll cover the costs.
I'll take it and they can fine me after a year. I'm fine with that. Okay, what else we got in your global wrap for me? Your global wrap. What else have we got?
Well, we've got the French Grand Prix, so you can kick us off with that this week.
Yeah,
starting. Verstappen's the favourite there.
Yeah, it's a close one, I think. So Verstappen 217 and Charles Leclerc at 250, and then you got Lewis at 9 and Perez at 13. George Russell, interestingly enough, $15. He has finished I think it's the top 5 or 6 in every race this year. Huh? So, the other McLaren driver at $15. Geez, if you can get each way, he's not a bad bet. In my mind.
Yeah. A lot going on in France this week. We've also got the continuation of the Tour de France last night. Put it probably an end to the result. Actually, Danish rider Vingegaard's into 102 and the pre-race favourite Pogacar is out to $21. So the lead's over 3 minutes now, going into stage 19. So a lot happening in France. All
right. And we've also got the Women's Euro 2022 happening at the moment.
Yeah, we're halfway through the quarterfinal stages over there. So actually, a very good match 2 days ago. England beat Spain 2-1 in extra time. So it was a cracking match for anyone who watched it. And last night, Germany beat Austria 2-0. So the favourites just advancing there. And we've got 2 matches to go for the quarterfinals coming up in the next 2 days.
Okay, so the first one of those, we've got Sweden takes on Belgium. Head-to-head, $1.28, Belgium $10. The line is 0.5 over under 2.5. And that's 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, Saturday, 5 a.m.
And the second match there, we've got France again. They're having a big week, as we just mentioned. France are $1.68, Netherlands $4.60. Total there is at the 2.5 there. So a couple of big matches going on, and that will lead into the World Cup next year.
Thanks, MG. And the big news to come for Australia this year, our first ever gold in women's high jumping. Eleanor Patterson, if that you didn't see it all over the papers, first ever Aussie to win the high jump and 10th ever gold medal for Australia. Amazing.
Yeah, in the track and field, for a world champ. So, unbelievable. And her story's quite unbelievable as well. She won a Commonwealth medal when she was 18 and then gave the sport away.
What?
So, just fell out of love with it, she said. So, unbelievable comeback. And, to jump 2 metres and 2 in the big event under pressure was phenomenal. So, she joined some pretty esteemed names for Australian track and field.
Fantastic. I'm all about that. That's amazing. I've got to go read her story a bit more. Toprope, can you talk to me about the NRL? Your Broncos are on fire.
My Broncos, last night they were. It was an absolute fill-up last night. They absolutely dominated Parramatta from beginning to end last night. And there's real talk that they might actually be in the premiership mix. I'm not 100% convinced about that, but they're playing with a confidence and skill level that we haven't seen a Broncos team in close to a decade. So, remarkable turnaround this year. And they were very, very impressive last night. Parramatta, much of the talk this week off the field was that Brad Arthur, their head coach, had been shopped around, that Canterbury had made inquiries about him, that he's possibly been linked to some George-Illawarra. Look, he's been in charge of the Eels for I think about 8 years now. They haven't not advanced to the final 4 teams. one of the longest droughts to play in a preliminary final. So, and the kind of knock on them is that they have faded in the back end of the season, limped into the finals, and gone bang bang. So, looks like we are on a similar path again.
Oh my God, nothing more than you love some coaching drama. And we spoke about it on Monday's show, but Henrik Stenson's, he's defected to Live, so he's lost his Ryder Cup captaincy.
Yeah, utterly ridiculous statement where he said he thought he could keep the Ryder Cup captaincy and take the $69 million as if the $69 million wasn't paying for the Ryder Cup captaincy. So utterly stupid, expecting more names to go. Hideki Matsuyama was the favourite going to the 3M Open this week. He shot a first round, I think 77, clearly distracted, including one of the worst shanks of all time on the 18th hole, which look, even I'd be ashamed of playing on the third at Downtree League. So very, very poor. And I expect him to be announced in the next week or two to heading over there. And then post-FedEx Cup, I think we're going to see a string of Australians, including Scott Leishman and probably Cameron Smith, go to.
Cam Smith, you think he'll jump top rope? Money too much?
I think he's already signed, MG. Yep. I think it's a done deal. I think the big concern for Cam Smith is he may have signed off for too little. If he'd signed on before the Open Championship, his price probably doubled. So the good thing with the Saudis, though, is they do seem to be pretty generous with their cash. So might just sort him anyway. But I'm expecting where this is going to head in the next kind of 6 months is they're just going to keep throwing money at to undermine kind of the PGA Tour, undermine the kind of world order of golf. We're going to see a lot of country-based teams. So I think Hideki's going to naturally lead a Japanese team. I think you're going to see a very strong Australian team. I think this is where the team format's really going to come into its own next year. And then I expect PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan will probably either stand down or get fired, and then they'll come to the table and they'll have to work something out because, the PGA Tour is clearly losing this battle. And with the amount of money the Saudis have in the back pocket, I don't really see a path to victory for me. It's
maybe why Cam Smith was a bit prickly after the press conference after he won, when they said about the Live Tour. He's probably filthy that he knows he just signed, and if he'd held on for that week, it might have been more in the pocket.
Absolutely, he would. Yeah, what better way to sour an Open Championship victory than to realise you've cost yourself probably $100 million.
That's $100 million that he would have just spent on his turf. Have you seen his Instagram account? He loves his turf at his house. It is like if you're a golfer and you want some, if you want to have like your own little golfing greens at home, follow his account.
He's got to get a bigger boat though.
He's got the tips. He tells you exactly what you need, what percentage, what combination, and then he shows you how to manicure it. All right?
He's big on lawn maintenance. He's very
lawn maintenance. Maybe he's going to be the next Manscaped big fish. They've already got Pete Davidson, they've got Max Gorn, they've got little Birdie is the next one, Cam Smith.
Happy to swap roles with Pete Davidson if required.
And we do have in 6 days' time, we've got the Commonwealth Games package starting. So Toprope's Birmingham Blind, it's on July 28th. It kicks off, and for $55, you can get that in the Little Birdie Live TV shop. You need the Comms Game package because they did have an insane Olympic Games.
There was nothing better than cheering home, and MGL attest to this, watching the weightlifting, cheering home some random Armenian to get the job done. There was nothing better than finding a Turkish shooter. We'll have plenty of that to cheer on. People you've never heard of, people I've never heard of. We'll just dive deep into the numbers, dive deep into the form, and we'll find plenty of winners. It was a fill-up for the package here during the Tokyo Games. A little out-wide group had an absolute fill-up on the Winter Olympics earlier in the year, chips in biathlon. So we'll be finding plenty of winners at the Comm Games, that's for sure.
Thanks, Toprope. Now it's time for Friday Lines, proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au, family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust, bet with TopSport. All right, let's get to it. First game tonight, we've got Richmond taking on Fremantle. That is 7:50 p.m. Richmond, $1.97. Freo, $1.85. The line is only 1.5, and the over-under totals is 165.5. MG.
Yeah, there's been a little switch in the betting here. Richmond open 2-point favourites. Now we see Freo minus 1.5. So just a flip of the favourites there, which I think is significant. Richmond, even though it's at the Telstra Dome tonight and not at the MCG, I think Richmond at home wouldn't often be outsiders. So I'm going to stick fat with Richmond here. I know they've lost their last 2 straight, lost 3 of their last 4. Freo lost last week as well. I thought they were very poor second half against the Swans. Tactically out-coached, I should say. Fremantle have won 5 of their last 7, but on the road, I'm going to stick with Richmond, who will be without Dusty Martin and Lynch, but they were without those 2 the week before, so it's not like they're losing them. Both off 6-day breaks. I just think the travel of Freo off a 6-day break and then having to travel to Melbourne might just throw it Richmond's way. There's not too much in the stats, although Richmond have won 4 out of the last 5 head-to-head against Freo. Expect a low-scoring game. I think the total's probably about right, but for the game, I'm going to go with the Tigers again this week.
Oh, my God, you love them. The Tigers, they're your team this year. All right, now let's head to the first NRL game. So we've got St George taking on Manly tonight at 6 p.m. St George, $2.20, Manly, $1.70. The line is 2.5 and the over-under total's 42.5. Toprope.
Absolutely declaring the Dragons tonight. Not a team I particularly like. It's a great spot for them. Those subscribers have got recommended the biggest bet of the year. This is a huge angle for the Saints, and Manly have been hit by COVID. They've lost 3 players, maybe some more to come, and 3 pretty key ones, at least 2 Trebojevic of the Jake variety, and Lachlan Croker both out. Huge angle here. Home teams off conceding 50, covered 11 of 12, covered at 72% since 2008. Manly not particularly good away from Brookvale. Overeat here. Chips in the Saints tonight.
Oh, chips in for the Saints. Okay, that's a little tip for the GGOA. We're going to get to that later. Now let's go to the second game in the AFL. Saturday, 7:25 p.m. Western Bulldogs are taking on Melbourne. The Western Bulldogs, $2.37. Melbourne, $1.59. The line is 8.5 and the over-under totals 165.5.
Yeah, the grand final replay, 2.0. So they played back in round 1 where Melbourne won by 26 points. So this is the second version since the grand final. This will be at the Dome, so weather won't play a part here. It's
a beautiful weekend anyway. We got sunshine in Melbourne this weekend.
That's true. Never rains in Melbourne. That's a good point, Nikki. It's 9th v 2nd, so the Bulldogs really have to win this. They've got to take a big scalp in their run home to make finals, unless Richmond really do slip up. So this is one that they'll want to get, and the money suggesting early for them that the punters do like them. Open 11.5 down to 8. So I'm just going to sit and wait for this. I think Melbourne are getting to a good price, and I'm just going to wait until as late as possible to back Melbourne in this. I know it's at the Dome, but while the Bulldogs get Norton back is obviously a key, and Hunter to match Melbourne's midfield. Melbourne get back Oliver, so I think that's massive key. One of the Brownlow favourites. It's going to be different styles played here. The Bulldogs are definitely offensive. They want a free-flowing, high-scoring game, whereas Melbourne will try and shut it down at the Dome. So I think this will be a mid-range total game. But, yeah, I think Melbourne are getting to a backable price, and minus 8.5 will do me.
All right, Melbourne minus 8.5 there for MG. Okay, let's go to the second game. Here we go. The Rabbitohs are taking on the Storm Saturday at 7:35 p.m. The Rabbitohs, $2. The Storm, $1.83. The line is at 1.5, and the over-under totals 41.5. Geez, the Storm favourites, Toprope.
Ripping game here, Nick. Yeah, look, it's a battle of form v history in this one. Look, no doubt Melbourne are struggling. Lost 3 on the trot for the first time in 7 years. The defence has fallen apart. Ryan Pappenhausen has fractured his kneecap, so he's out for the season. Plenty of dramas at Melbourne. But they have, and South have been flying since Latrell Mitchell came back. The Latrell and Cody show continues to roll. But Melbourne have won 31 of 36 all time against Souths. Won the last 2 at ANZ, including 50-0 the last time they went. Covered 5 of the last 6, won the last 7. Look, very difficult game. I'm not going to get too heavily involved in this one, but I am leaning towards Melbourne. Maybe that's just a sickness I've got. But I do think that this is the first real challenge South have got. I'm just not willing to rely on a team kind of led by Lachlan Ilias at halfback to really be dominant. They struggled for long periods of the game against Canterbury. They were on the rack until Latrell saved them in the back end of that game. So look, Latrell's there. Latrell could easily do it again, but lean towards Melbourne in this one. I think they're a better price, so $1.83. We'll be on them for something small.
All right, thank you. That is some good watching there on Saturday night for your NRL. Now, Here we go. The big game on Sunday. Collingwood is taking on the Bombers. That is $3.20 at the MCG. Collingwood $1.68. The Bombers are $2.20. The line is 5.5 and the over-under total is 168.5. MG, big game.
Yeah, Toprope. We'll expect to no doubt see Nikki posting photos from some corporate box at the MCG on Sunday here with her baby Bombers in form. She's back on them now after being off them for the first 3 months of the year. This is a cracking matchup. Collingwood obviously won 8 in a row, equal best form line in the comp, and Essendon's last 5 weeks have been great. They've won 4 out of their last 5, including winning their last 3. So even though their season's over, they'll definitely be up for this game. I think, as you mentioned, Melbourne's cracking weather down here. They'll get 75,000, 80,000, I think, at the G. They'll be loud. Collingwood obviously playing for a top 4 spot, so they won't be mucking around. Even though they've won 8 straight, they've 5 of those wins have been by 7 or less points. So really finding a way to get to the line. So no reason why this won't be a competitive game. I think if you're going to bet either way, I'd be looking at the smaller margins, whether you like Essendon or Collingwood. I just favour Collingwood just slightly. The 1 to 24 is probably the more betting options I'd be betting in this game. But I think given the weather and their over patterns for both teams, they like to take on the game. Essendon got nothing to lose. So over 167.5 seems the more favoured bet for me, and I'd be looking at the smaller margins. But yeah, this will be a cracking game in front of a big crowd and big consequences for Collingwood, win or loss.
Okay, hopefully I'm cheering home the Bombers on Sunday. All right, and let's go to the Canterbury Bulldogs taking on the Gold Coast Titans Sunday at 2 o'clock. The Bulldogs are $1.60, Gold Coast $2.38. The line is 3.5 and the over-under total is 41.5.
Yeah, this has tightened up a little bit, but when the line was -4 or more, this was the first time, incredibly, in 5 years almost to the day, that Canterbury have been favoured by more than by a try or more. So I would be stunned if that had happened any time during the NRL era with any team. 5 years, no favouritism of -4 or more. So remarkable. Bulls have been hit by COVID a little bit this week though. Fullback Jacob Arillo is out. Winger Josh Adokar in doubt with some injury. He went off the field last week. Still like Canterbury in this game. I think the Gold Coast are in all sorts, assuming the team stays as is. I think the Bulls are a slight bet. The bet in this one, though, is probably the over. Canterbury, a different team under me. Potter. He's done a tremendous job getting the team to play football. They've scored 18 plus in 6 of 7 under Potter. The totals have hit 48 plus in 5 of 7 with one of anyone's found it was underwater. So leaning towards the over and the dogs in this one.
Overs and the dogs there for Toprope. Okay, let's have a quick look at the remaining AFL and NRL games. AFL North Melbourne are taking on Hawthorn Saturday 1:45. North Melbourne 3:40. Hawthorn $1.33. The line's 21.5 and the over/unders at 168.5.
Yeah, they found a spot to put this down in Tassie, trying to hide this contest. Yeah, what do we got? 18th v 13th. Not a game I want to get involved in. Neither team's got much to play for. North Melbourne obviously got a win last week on the board, and Hawthorn have lost 9 of their last 12. So not a game for me either way here.
Moving right along to the Saturday game, 1:45, Sydney Swans versus Adelaide Crows. Sydney $1.10, Adelaide $7. The line is 40.5 and the over-unders 157.5.
Yeah, Nick, all the money for Sydney here. They opened 32.5. I thought it was a little bit light, but not as much as it's moved now. It's to 40, so a good 8-point move to the favourites here. I think Adelaide have probably run their race for the year. Sydney got too much to play for with the top 4 and maybe a top 2 spot with their draw home. So expect Sydney to beat up on the Adelaide Crows here.
Okay, we're having some beating there on the Adelaide Crows. All right, now the next game Saturday at 4:35, Port Adelaide taking on Geelong. Port Adelaide 2:30, Geelong $1.62. The line is 7.5 and over-unders 154.5.
Yeah, the money is for Port Adelaide, open 9 down to 7, so the early money is for Port Adelaide. I'm just going to wait patiently here and just see where it shakes out because I think Geelong, I'm going to continue with Geelong at this stage. I just think they're most informed comp. Yeah. I don't know where Port are off an Alice Springs trip, which I like opposing when they come out of the northern state, just with the weather change and everything like that. I know Port are at home. I don't think they're a great side. They're 11th on the ladder. I think Geelong are going to be value here in this game.
Okay, the Pussycats will roar. All right, now we go to the 7:10 game Saturday night. Brisbane taking on the Gold Coast, the derby there. Brisbane $1.25, Gold Coast $4.05. The line is 26.5 and the over-under's 172.5.
Probably the play of the week here. We got out early on the Monday here at the -18 for Brisbane. I thought this might be the play and the moving market. So you can see here it's now 26.5. I rated it close to 30 here, so I think it's only going to go one way. I'm really strong on Brisbane. Got a good couple of ins back, 3 of their 6 defenders as well. So I just think Gold Coast are a little overrated. Their season's done as well. So Brisbane too much to play for. Be a good win.
Okay, Brisbane there for MG. Now we're going to see Carlton taking on the GWS Sunday at 1:10. Carlton $1.18, GWS 5. The line is 30.5 and the over-under's 167.5.
Yeah, all the money for the Blues here, Nick. One of your sub-teams here. 23 at open. Now it's gone to 30. GWS, plenty of changes. I think their season's done as well, where as Carlton's still fighting out for the top end, so they're better form at home. I think the market will continue, so if you want to get on Carlton, I'd get on now. Wait for the Giants, but Carlton might put up a big number here as well.
Oh, okay, Carlton there for MG. Now, Sunday's game, 4:40, West Coast taking on St Kilda, West Coast 3.20. St Kilda $1.35. The line is 19.5 and the over-under's 166.5.
Yeah, terrible match. Not one I would get excited for. Unfortunately, you're going to have to watch this match twice. No real movement in the market. I think the value is for West Coast if you're looking to dig out late in the week if things haven't gone your way. But it's going to be a tough watch this game. 2 teams that season's well and truly done for mine. So St Kilda not in good form, so I couldn't be tipping them at the minus away from home.
Okay, thanks, MG. Now we're going to have a quick look at the remaining NRL games. All right, so we've got Newcastle taking on the Roosters. That is tonight at 7:55 p.m. Newcastle 3.35. The Roosters $1.34. The line is 9.5 and the over/under's 43.5. Top rope.
Yeah, I was keen on the Roosters here, but Joe Manu is now out, the latest COVID victim. We'll still lean towards the Roosters. The Knights have covered just 3 of their last 11 as a home dog. 1 of 6 as a home dog with 6.5 or more. Big angle here as well. Teams are scoring 50, 19 and 9 against the spread the last 4 seasons. But not, Manu's a big loss. He's arguably their most important player. So we'll be back in the overs though in this one. I think Manu's absence will hurt the Roosters defensively. We're probably going to see Paul Momorowski come into the middle, and he is a defensive mess. So opens up for Newcastle, who are a defensive mess themselves. So the over 9-3 when the Knights are at home for loss, 8-3 when they're at home as an underdog, 11-4 when the Roosters off scoring 40+. So the over here. Okay,
the over's there for Top Rope. Now we're going to go to Canberra taking on the Warriors. That is Saturday at 3 p.m. Canberra Raiders $1.28. The Warriors are 3.80. The line is 11.5 and the over/under totals 42.5.
Not a lot of statistical justification in this one, but the Warriors do tend to play the Raiders pretty tight. They've covered the last 10. They won earlier in the year. I think this number is too big than 10.5. The Raiders have been very, very poor at home. Off a win as a big favourite, so going to go with the Warriors plus 10.5 here, something small.
Okay, the Warriors plus 10.5 there for Top Rope. Now, here we go. Saturday, 5:30 game. Penrith are taking on Cronulla. Penrith $1.24. Cronulla $4.20. The line is 12.5 and the over/unders a flat 40.
Yeah, love this game. Not as a betting proposition, though. Very, very difficult to play this one. Look, going to go with the minus and the overs, something small on each. The number does seem big at face value, but the Panthers are just dominant at home, covered 11 of 15 as a double-digit home favourite. Over angles here, the Sharks are just a huge overs team. They've cut the overs hit in 8 straight when they've been a double-digit road underdog. And the over has surprisingly been commonplace when these two have met 17 of 25 since 2008, including the last 6. So lean towards the over, lean towards the minus, nothing too confident.
Okay, a good watch there from Top Rope. Now, North Queensland are taking on the West Tigers. That is the Sunday 4 o'clock game. North Queensland $1.08. The West Tigers $8.50. The line is 20.5 and the over/unders 44.
Yeah, one of the bets of the week this week. The Cowboys minus 20. Tigers missing a couple of key players again. Brent Naden returns, which is a huge minus for the Tigers. He is an absolute mess of a player. The Cowboys have been very, very good as a big favourite at home, covering of a loss. The Tigers are particularly ordinary in daytime football, which tells me that, the cleaner the ball handling conditions, the more they're just going to be exposed. And a little strange angle here, but one that's worth noting. Dogs of 18 or more, off conceding 18 or fewer, covered as 4 of 17. So Cowboys are going to win this by 20, and those after really the old Ric Flair will go on up to the -40, -50. I think this could be anything.
Wow. Okay. Expect a massive score there. Thanks, Toprope. All right, folks, if you are serious about your NRL punting, you do need the GGO awake. He is flying. That is $22 a week, and you get that in the Little Birdie live TV shop. Similarly, MG is hitting his stride with the AFL, so that is the AFL Stings, $22 a week. You can also find that in the Little Birdie live TV shop. Okay, thanks, MG and Toprope. That is a wrap for today for Friday Lines. Thanks for letting me join you these last couple of weeks. You follow us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, download our podcast everywhere you get your good podcast from. Remember to follow us on socials, Little Birdie TV, Twitter and Insta. Remember, all your footy betting action is at TopSport, and that's topsport.com.au. OB will hopefully be back next week, but I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. See ya.